Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something truly profound. We're going to investigate a fascinating, highly counterintuitive modern health trend. But honestly, this isn't really about a new product you can just buy online. It's about revealing the hidden operating system running beneath your entire human experience. We're talking about the invisible architecture of your health, those quiet, underlying biological triggers that literally dictate how you sleep, how you age, and how your brain functions from moment to moment.
So, what invisible biological forces are actually shaping the quality of your life every single day? To answer that massive, life-altering question, we're going to examine a genuinely bizarre wellness craze you might have heard of: sleeping on metal-woven sheets plugged into a wall socket. Seriously, by placing this highly unusual practice under a scientific microscope, we're going to peel back the layers of your biology. We'll discover how your daily, seemingly insignificant habits are silently writing the future of your cognitive longevity and physical resilience. The most important insight of all is still coming, but first, we really need to understand the fundamental mechanics at play here. To understand your own interconnected health, we first need to define the concept at the very center of this trend: grounding, or sometimes it's called earthing. At its core, this isn't based in mysticism. It's based in atmospheric physics and electrochemistry. Basically, it's the practice of maintaining conductive contact with the Earth's surface in an attempt to transfer free electrons directly into the human body, essentially reconnecting us to the planet's natural electrical potential.
Now, what's truly fascinating here is the incredible paradox this creates. A simple, conductive bedsheet, woven with silver or stainless steel fibers, has triggered miraculous health claims. Things like ending restless nights overnight and entirely erasing chronic pain. But at the exact same time, it has provoked intense scientific skepticism from leading neurologists. So how can something so simple cause such a massive divide? To unravel this mystery, we have to look deeper into what physically happens to your body when the lights go out.
Section 1. Your hidden operating system, the hormonal and autonomic rhythms.
Your daily life is governed by invisible circadian rhythms and autonomic states that constantly shift without you ever even realizing it. Basically, your nervous system is always toggling between two distinct states. On one side, we've got sympathetic overdrive. That's your fight or flight state. When you're stuck here at night, your cortisol runs high, your heart rate variability plummets, and your sleep is just totally shattered. On the other side is parasympathetic dominance, the rest and digest state, which is absolutely crucial for cellular repair. The biological theory of grounding suggests that connecting to the Earth rapidly drops your skin conductance, physically pulling you out of that stressful overdrive and anchoring you deep into recovery. To see if this actually happens in the real world, we looked to a landmark 2004 pilot study by researchers Gali and Teplitz. They took exactly 12 participants who were suffering from severe sleep dysfunction, chronic pain, and stress, and had them sleep grounded for 8 weeks. Now, I know, 12 is a very small number, but the data they captured opened a massive biological loop for researchers all around the world. What happened to these 12 individuals forces us to completely rethink how we approach sleep. The crucial takeaway is that all 12 subjects saw their cortisol perfectly normalize. Cortisol is a primary stress hormone, right? When it's high at night, you literally cannot enter deep restorative sleep. But over those 8 weeks of grounding, their cortisol rhythms fell right back into a healthy, natural curve, dropping low at night and rising sharply in the morning. This isn't just about feeling a little less tired. This is about your hormones acting as the master switch for your entire biological ecosystem. Section 2. The electrical human body. Inflammation and the free electron. So, this raises a genuinely fascinating question. How exactly does a metal-woven sheet alter a stress hormone? To find the answer, we have to zoom way in, right down to the molecular level. We usually think of ourselves as solid physical structures, but we're actually composed of up to 65% water, which is incredibly rich in electrolytes like sodium, potassium, and magnesium. Because of this, the human body is essentially a highly effective organic electrical conductor. We are quite literally wired to interact with electrical fields. Here's how this biological cascade supposedly builds. Step 1. Your skin makes contact with a conductive surface. Step 2. The Earth, which naturally maintains a continuous negative electrical potential, transfers limitless free electrons straight into your body. Step 3 is where the magic theoretically happens. These electrons act as potent antioxidants, neutralizing positively charged free radicals in your system. And step 4, by neutralizing those radicals, systemic silent inflammation goes down. This is profound because chronic inflammation is the silent driver behind accelerated aging and cognitive decline. This specific mechanism fundamentally changes how you might view your own cardiovascular health.
Research, like a fascinating 2013 study by Chevalier and colleagues, suggests that grounding actually increases what's called the zeta potential, or the surface charge of your red blood cells. By increasing this negative charge, the cells literally repel each other more effectively. This reduces blood clumping, thins the blood, and dramatically improves microcirculation. It's a perfect example of a hidden biological force shaping your daily vitality.
Section 3. Evolution versus modern environments. The Great Disconnect.
Now, a very logical question arises here. If this electron transfer is so incredibly vital for our hormones and our blood, why on earth do we need specialized sheets to achieve it? Well, the answer exposes a profound modern environmental conflict. Humans evolved walking barefoot or in natural leather, always maintaining direct grounded contact with the earth. But jump to the 1950s and we saw the mass adoption of insulating rubber and synthetic-soled shoes. Today, we live in elevated, insulated housing, constantly surrounded by electromagnetic fields. Evolutionary biologists point out that this great disconnect means we now carry a chronic, unneutralized positive electrical charge. We are biologically completely mismatched with our modern environment.
Section 4. What the science actually says. The reality check. We've seen the evolutionary logic, and honestly, the biological mechanisms are undeniably fascinating. But as curious and intelligent learners, we have to apply intense scientific rigor here. While the mechanisms are biologically plausible, a crucial reality check is required. The evidence base for claims like cortisol normalization and blood viscosity relies really heavily on small, pilot-scale trials. What does this mean for you? It means grounding is best viewed as a tool for marginal gains within a broader health strategy, rather than some magic overnight cure-all for severe diseases.
And we absolutely have to respect the skeptics here. Leading voices, like Yale neurologist Dr. Stephen Novella, point out serious methodological concerns in the existing research. Skeptics rightly highlight the lack of massive, double-blind trials, and they point heavily to the undeniable presence of the placebo effect. Think about it. When people believe they're doing something good for their sleep, their baseline anxiety drops, and suddenly their sleep naturally improves.
Yet, despite the skepticism, we're left with a real scientific paradox. In one controlled trial examining delayed onset muscle soreness, the grounded group showed an 80 percentage point reduction in pain ratings compared to the sham-grounded placebo group. You just cannot easily dismiss an 80-point differential. It strongly suggests that while the science is still young, something physically significant is absolutely happening beneath the surface. From a practical, real-world perspective, utilizing the Earth's energy indoors does come with a generally low-risk profile. However, plugging a sheet into a modern electrical grid does introduce tiny amounts, around 10 to 50 microamps, of contact current into your environment. Some users have reported temporary fatigue or what they call detox headaches as their body adjusts. And this is crucial. Because of the potential blood thinning effects we discussed earlier, anyone on blood thinners or with a pacemaker must seek medical clearance before trying this.
Section 5. The Interconnected Health Realization. Unifying the biological ecosystem.
As we synthesize all of this, the evolutionary history, the molecular science, the clinical data, the most important insight of all finally emerges. Studying something as specific and controversial as a grounding sheet actually reveals the absolute deepest truth about human flourishing and longevity. Health is not a collection of separate, isolated habits. It's a biological cascade. Your autonomic nervous system tone directly influences your sleep architecture. That deep sleep normalizes your cortisol. That regulated cortisol directly controls your systemic inflammation, and that inflammation silently shapes your long-term aging and cognitive longevity. It is all one deeply interconnected biological ecosystem occurring every single second of your life.
I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to consider about your own biology. The tiny decisions you make today regarding your stress, your daily movement, your light exposure, and yes, even your physical connection to the environment are silently writing the future of your health. So ask yourself, are you just putting band-aids on isolated symptoms, or are you ready to finally manage the interconnected biological ecosystem that drives your life? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the science behind your everyday habits.